On a quiet farm just outside Fort Myers, a group of dedicated volunteers gather as the sun peers through the surrounding trees. This morning, 5 specially trained horses are groomed to carry their very special riders. Saddle set, bridle secured, another day of work ahead. These are literally the workhorses of the Special Equestrians Therapeutic Riding Program of Southwest Florida. Special Equestrians is a unique therapy program that challenges children and adults with disabilities to accomplish tasks they never thought they were capable of. Many riders that come here each week are typically confined to wheelchairs or other assistive devices. Once they're on their horse, they're freed from their constraints. The reactions are obvious. Smiles replace tears. Laughter soothes fear.
All right, nice shot.
Special Equestrians provide structured therapeutic horseback riding to mentally and physically challenged children and adults. Riders' disabilities include cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, head trauma, developmental delay, multiple sclerosis, seizures, hearing impairment, ADHD, visual impairment, loss of limbs, and impaired communication.
If a person has trouble walking, they get the feeling riding a horse of what it feels like to walk.
Research shows that equine-assisted activities can benefit physically challenged riders of all ages. For riders with emotional challenges, the bond created with a horse can lead to increased confidence and self-esteem.
When you're riding a horse, you're using so many different muscle groups at one time, plus you're having to think, you're having to perform, turning, stopping, making the horse go. There's just so much involved in riding a horse, but because it's fun, you don't really realize all that's happening.
The benefits of riding are not always so obvious in the beginning.
Can you spell school backwards?
Ellie Hagan started bringing her son Max to Special Equestrians 7 years ago when he was 5 years old. At first, Max resisted.
Max didn't like it at all. We went through about 6 months of him having a really difficult time riding. I think everything that was involved with it, the sensory issues of being out with the animals and in the ring, and the patience to be able to ride for a half an hour and sit still and follow directions, it was really difficult on him.
Ellie asked Dee Hollander, the program's certified instructor, if it was worth continuing.
He would cry, he would pinch, he would bite, he would turn himself around on the horse, he would lie down.
Before Ellie realized it, Max started to enjoy riding the horses, and after just a matter of weeks, he was making real progress.
About 6 months after he started riding, we had his IEP meeting, and the team decided he didn't need physical therapy anymore. He had developed so well over those 6 months, and I have to think there was a relationship to Special Equestrians and his development.
That kind of progress is not unusual. In fact, it's common.
And some of the riders, they've gone from possibly being in a wheelchair or walker to walking, just better balance in the walk. You see that often.
They convinced me that it would be good for my son because it would be something that he could be a part of, that he could talk about, that he could feel like that he was doing his own activity. He belonged to something.
Hetty Weinstein's son Michael had seizures. Hetty and her husband were concerned about putting their son on a horse.
She asked me questions like, well, does your son play any sports? I'm like, no, he can't. He has seizures. He doesn't really do any kind of physical activities because it's not safe for him.
They filled out the paperwork and brought him to his first class.
I remember that first day. Sorry. It was just, he just sat on that horse so proud, and his chest was like all puffed up with pride and this big smile on his face. And he sat on that horse, and it was just a wonderful thing for him, and of course for all of us.
7 years later, they're still bringing Michael to class. It's something he looks forward to.
It doesn't matter if he's sick, If he's not feeling well, he wakes up and he says, I want to ride a horse. It's something that he talks about with other people, so it gives him something to talk about. He feels good about himself. It gives him a sense of pride. He wouldn't give this day up for anything.
This is hard work. It may look like the horses are just walking around, but a lot of our riders are unbalanced, and that is harder on a horse's back. And if they're a little bit lame or they have a little tendency for a sore back, it just makes it worse.
Horses chosen for special equestrians are required to have the highest degree of patience, love, and ability. It is considered an honor to be selected. Each horse is evaluated and trained for therapeutic riding. For a horse to be chosen for this program, it must meet a high standard.
We take our low committee and we go visit the horse. And if the horse seems like a good prospect, we bring them home and we keep them here for 3 months to try them out. And, you know, a lot of times they still go home.
The horses that become part of the program, they leave an impression on every rider.
It is a part of his life, and you should see his room. He has like the little trophies and the ribbons, and he has horse pictures there.
He looks forward to coming here. I mean, this morning it was horse, horse, horse. Got himself dressed and ready to go, and it's really enjoyable for him, and it's something he looks forward to every week.
When he first came, I had to kind of drag him to walk up the steps to get on the horse, and now he runs up the steps to get on the horse.
Special Equestrians is solely supported on the contributions of individuals and corporations, as well as civic organizations and private grants. Every penny goes directly to the program. Without these contributions, riders would not have the opportunity to enjoy the freedom horseback riding gives them.
Our community has been so behind us, you know, for all of the years we've been open, which has been since 1987. The community's been behind us. We get our money through individual donations, grants. We're very, very fortunate to be United Way partners. We don't get government money, so, you know, it's all through really local people that help us.
The Special Equestrians facilities include 2 separate riding areas, an arena that is covered from the elements, and a sensory trail that was the dream of program director Jan Pfeiffer.
In the fall of 2008, FGCU sent me a letter saying, do you have any projects that you need help with? So I thought of the sensory trails. And the plan was they would help us plan the sensory trail. But once we got into the project, they came to me and said, well, we want to help you build it. So within 4 months, we built it with like $3,500, which I think is pretty amazing.
The sensory trail gives riders and horses the opportunity to physically interact at several different stations.
When you can't even walk and you're on top of a giant trailer tire with all 4 feet, you have to feel like you're on top of the world. I saw that in their eyes, I really did.
Separate riding facilities allows for more flexibility in the program.
It's been a great thing to have this wonderful arena with this beautiful cover and to be able to go over here for a nice change of pace. And I really do think that it sparks, you know, certain senses in these riders that you won't be able to reach in there. You know, they both have their advantages.
Woo!
And without volunteers, the program couldn't exist.
We put in over 15,000 hours of volunteer service last year.
Volunteers are the backbone of Special Equestrians. It requires up to 3 people to walk with each rider.
If you have a class of 6 people, that would be 18 volunteers for 1 class. And we have 3 classes in the morning.
All volunteers get special training for their tasks, from horse leaders to office workers, sidewalkers, to stable maintenance.
Our volunteers, they become kind of like a little family, not only with each other, but with the riders. And so it's really like a nice little community of support.
When Max rides, he has 2 sidewalkers. He has someone that leads him. He has Miss D out there instructing. He has the folks that are getting the horses ready. He has the folks that are you know, taking care of the horses every day. And then the folks that put together all the fundraising efforts for this.
With an annual enrollment of 50 riders and classes 3 days a week, the need for qualified volunteers can be overwhelming.
It's really an amazing group of people, and I'll get choked up. But it's just so wonderful to see people that devote so much time and energy to helping others. You know, because there's so much work that's involved.
Special Equestrians has touched many lives in the last 24 years. The program continues to grow. 5 new instructors were certified this month. Plans include adding new classes and additional riders in the future.
There's just so many things we can do, but we just have to move slowly and make sure we, do it all correctly.
As long as there is a passion to help those with special needs, the Special Equestrians Therapeutic Riding Program will continue to shine.
It has a lot to do with the passion of the people that come. They believe in what they're doing, and they're a good team. They're really a good team.